Welcome back, Links, to another Gamebook adventure with the Gamehorder. Another What Do I Do Now book. This is book 2 of the ZORK series. The MALIFESTRO Quest. Again by Eric Moretsky. Pretty cool cover art. Looks like Bivotar and Geranda might be running into some demons. Let's begin. So this book, like the other one, is pretty similar in that it has the... if you purchase this book, turn to this page, and if you don't, well, go home and think about the book. So we won't go over that. It's in all the books. Instead, here we're at the cover page. And here we have Bivotar and Geranda, aka Bill and June, and he's flashing his ring of ZORK that we obtained in the first quest, the first game book. The room is oppressively hot and dimly lit by a few tiny windows set high in the walls. A hissing, writhing mass of snakes covers the entire floor. Sayovar hangs from a rope tied securely to his hands. He is suspended only a foot or so above the ground. Sweat pours down his face as snakes hiss and snap at his feet. Sayovar gives a moan of pain. His lips do not move, but somehow he seems to be speaking. Come, take the ancient underground route. Seek the black crystal sphere. Hurry! His words fade away and are replaced by a distant pounding. It seems to come from everywhere. The pounding grows louder and louder. Bill awakens from his nightmare with a start. He sits up in bed, shaking, and tries to get his bearings. He remembers that it's Saturday, the first day of summer vacation. Sunlight is streaming into his bedroom. He realizes that the pounding from his dream is still going on. It comes from the direction of his window. He looks over and sees June outside, banging on his window. Here is a picture of Bivotar's dream with Sayovar hanging above the massive writhing snakes. Doesn't look like he's doing too hot. Bill opens the window and June climbs in. She appears to have dressed in a hurry and is very out of breath.
I just had a horrible dream, she pants. Sayovar was in trouble. He was calling for us. I just had a dream exactly like that too,
Bill interrupts. Both Bill and June feel guilty. They had adventured through the land of ZORK before. There they had been given the Zorkish names Bivotar and Geranda, and had been pronounced heroes by their mysterious uncle Sayovar. They had vowed to return soon to that magical land, but as Bill and June and their friends made plans for the vacation ahead, thoughts of adventuring faded like the snows of winter. Now comes this jolting reminder that the other world, Bill opens the top drawer of his chest and removes the ring of ZORK. Their gift from Sayovar. The ring is pulsing with flashes of vivid light.
Bill, this can't be a coincidence. The dreams, the ring. We're being summoned. For an important reason. Let's go. But I haven't had breakfast yet. Forget about breakfast. Sayovar is in trouble.
Bill stares at the hashing ring, beckoning them toward another adventure. Holding June with one hand, he slowly slips the ring of ZORK onto his finger. With a flash of light and a puff of heavy smoke, they find themselves in a bedroom, but a very different one. This room is large, with a very high ceiling, and it is dead silent. The walls and floors are of polished stone. The bed is large and covered by a woven canopy. A massive oak door, lying open, leads out to a dim corridor. A dead silence pervades the room. Their clothes have changed also. They are now dressed in adventurer's garb featuring leather belts, hooded cloaks, and sturdy leather boots. They are now Bivotar and Geranda.
Well, Geranda, we should look around.
He feels the excitement of adventuring returning.
Sure, Bivotar, let's have a look around.
Geranda says gaily. The danger to Sayovar is momentarily forgotten. They soon discover that they are in a tremendous castle, Long stone corridors connect bedrooms, banquet halls, guard rooms, and an elegant throne room. The castle seems to be deserted and somewhat neglected. Eventually, they come to the front of the gate of a castle. The drawbridge is down, leading out to a wide, grassy plain. Mountains are visible in the distance. The day is gray and overcast. Here's a picture of our two daring adventurers, Bivutar and Jaranda. Across from the gate, a forbidding doorway leads into a darkened room. Several large rats scurry among skulls and bones scattered near the door.
What shall we do, Biv?
Jaranda asks.
The castle looks deserted.
Suddenly, they hear a scrambling sound and turn to see a pair of elves scampering away around the corner. Should we run after the elves, leave the castle and explore the countryside, or see what's beyond the forbidden doorway? I'm thinking we shall run after the elves. So let's go to page 13.
Quick, after them,
Says Jaranda.
Maybe they can tell us what's going on.
They dash after the elves down the wide corridor of the castle. The elves are fast, but they soon enter a hallway which ends in a dead end. They turn, trapped, a look of terror in their eyes. Don't hurt, Max, says the first elf, covering his eyes. Don't hurt, Fred, says the other elf, trying to hide behind Max.
Don't be silly, says Bivutar. We don't want to hurt you. We just want to find out where we are and what's going on.
Max cautiously uncovers one eye. Not going to hurt, Max? Bivutar and Jaranda shake their heads. Fred peeks out from behind Max. You've not been sent by Malifestro?
No,
Jaranda answers.
At least, I don't think so. Who's Malifestro?
Malifestro, begins Max. Powerful wizard, Fred continues. Eats elves like us for breakfast, Max concludes.
That reminds me, says Bivutar. I still haven't had breakfast.
The elves try to hide behind each other. Don't eat us, they whimper.
I'm not going to eat you, Bivutar says gently. Why are you two so frightened?
Evil times in the castle of ZORK, says Max. Malifestro more powerful than anyone imagined, explains Fred. He lives in a distant land where magic's stronger than here in land of Phobos, adds Max. And now Sayovar prisoner, no one can stop him, says Fred.
Sayovar, a prisoner?
Says Jaranda.
Where? Tell us more.
Bit by bit, the elves reveal that the evil wizard Malifestro used a powerful spell to capture Sayovar. Malifestro is holding Sayovar for ransom in his own castle far beyond the Flathead Mountains. The ransom includes a wealth of gold and jewels, half the land of the kingdom of ZORK, and 10,000 men to be enslaved by Malifestro. The Knights of Phobos, 2,000 of the best soldiers of ZORK, led by the noble Elrond, started out to rescue Sayovar. Whether it was the awful power of Malifestro or the treacherous passes through the Flathead Mountains, none of the knights has been seen since. Fear and despair have settled across the land. All order has vanished, and the bands of thieves roam the highways and towns. It seems likely that Malifestro will easily conquer the entire kingdom. Most likely, Malifestro will start here if he invades, says Max. So everyone's fled the castle, says Fred. Except a few servants like us, adds Max. Too frightened to stay and too frightened to leave, concludes Fred.
Oh, you poor things,
says Jaranda.
Jaranda, we have to do something. We must go rescue Sayovar.
You can't, gasps Fred. Wizard kill you, Max points out. Or eat you like elves, or turned into snails, or boiled in oil, or banished to the snake pits. Or chained to a snow monster of Snurth. And here's a picture of Max and Fred are two cowardly elves. Or chained to a snow monster of Snurth. Stay here in the castle with us. Well, if we stay in the castle, I'm pretty sure the adventure's gonna end, so let's attempt to rescue Sayovar.
We must try to rescue Sayovar,
says Bivutar. The elves shake their heads in deep disbelief.
Why don't you come with us?
asks Jaranda.
You know the country better than we do, I'm sure.
Oh no, can't, says Max quickly. Not scared or anything, adds Fred. Don't like traveling that much, Max explains.
But don't you think it's dangerous to wait around here? Asked Bivutar. You said yourself that Malifestro will probably come straight here.
Oh, wail the elves. Come on, urges Duranda. It'll be fun. I guess we might as well, Max finally says. Yes, we'll be killed if we stay, and killed if we go, so we might as well keep you company, says Fred. Great, says Duranda. Let's get moving. Wait, says Max. We should equip ourselves for the journey. He leads them to the forbidden doorway across from the castle's entrance. Are you sure we want to go in there? Asks Bivitar. Sure, no problem, says Fred. They enter and find themselves in a small, dark room, leading to a brighter and larger room beyond. A heavily armed troll is sitting by the inner door.
Hey, you aren't supposed to come in here, you know,
The troll says, stumbling over his words. We're your replacements, says Max. You can go now.
About time. I've been here for, 3 months now. And I'm sure starting to get tired and, hungry.
The troll lumbers away. Boy, trolls sure are dumb, says Duranda. Actually, he's one of the brighter ones, says Fred. Right, most can't even talk, Max points out. Upon entering the brightly lit room, they see a small open trunk, which holds various weapons. Some knives, a sword, a mace, and some armor. Next to the trunk is a sack. They open it. It contains vials of potions and other magical devices. And here is a picture of them sifting through different magical items and checking out some weapons as well. If we take turns, we could probably carry the trunk or the sack, but definitely not both, Duranda announces. Let's take some stuff from each, suggests Bivitar. No, shouts Max. Bad idea. Right, agrees Fred. Mixing weapons and magic brings very bad luck. Then I say we should go with the weapons, states Bivitar. But Biv, Elrond and his knights probably already have plenty of weapons, and look what happened to them. I say we should take the magic. Well, I'm gonna have to agree with Duranda. I think we should take the magic too. And here's a picture of Bivitar and Duranda and the tiny little elves. Elves are the size of, gnomes, apparently, in the world of ZORK. They are not tall and beautiful, like in the world of Tolkien. Lugging the bulging sack, Bivitar, Duranda, Max, and Fred leave the castle. Malifestro's domain, far beyond the Flathead Mountains, says Max, pointing at a distant towering peak. It'll take us days just to reach the mountain, says Bivitar with dismay, and I still haven't had any breakfast. Don't worry, no shortcuts, says Fred. And here, have some whey bread, says Max, reaching into his pack. The road toward the mountains is wide and smooth. About an hour after leaving the castle, Max pricks his ears. Pricks his ears? Perks his ears? I don't know. I hear a band of men approaching, he says. Oh no, says Fred. I bet it's a pack of thieves. There's no good place to hide, says Duranda, glancing around. Let's look in the sack, suggests Bivitar. There might be something we could use. Max rummages around in the sack. Aha! He cries. Invisibility cloak! Big enough for all of us. Not reliable enough, says Fred. Look, here's powder for casting friendliness spell. Are you crazy? Not strong enough. The elves begin arguing wildly. Hurry, shouts Duranda. The voices are louder. They must be just around the bend. Do we don the invisibility cloak, or do we cast the friendliness spell? There is actually no wrong answer here. We'll go ahead and use the cloak. Just takes us to two paths that lead to the same direction. Bivitar grabs the invisibility cloak from the sack and throws it around all four of them. At that moment, the band of men ride into view. Nothing happened, says Duranda. We're still visible. Shh, says Max. We can see us, but they can't, Max hopes. Quiet, says Fred quietly. Cloak doesn't stop noise. The band of men, who indeed look like thieves, approaches them along the road. The cloak seems to be working. Just as they pass by, Fred lets loose a loud elvish sneeze. The leader of the thieves pulls his mount to a stop. Methinks I heard a sound, he says. He turns and stares straight at the spot where the elves and the two adventurers are standing. Max holds a furry hand over Fred's nose. After a moment, the leader of the thieves shrugs and motions for the men to move along. A minute later, they have vanished from sight around a bend in the road.
Phew, that was close, says Bivitar.
Sorry, says Fred, wiping his nose. Fred allergic to thieves, Max explains. Bivitar, Duranda, and the elves continue their journey toward the mountains. As the sun begins sinking low, Duranda asks Fred,
Where are those shortcuts you mentioned? My feet hurt.
Fred peers down at the road and points. See that grove of trees down the road? Gigantic tree stump there. Magic, very powerful. When we get to it, I'll show you shortcut. In the groves, the trees form a rough circle around a large tree stump, at least 10 feet across. The top of the stump is flat, almost like a large round table. Fred remember coming here in happier days, says Fred. Yes, Max agrees. Ziovar would bring everyone from the castle out here for a big feast. We would sit around tree stump eating dragon meat and hot pepper sandwiches and garlic. Ziovar entertained us, performed feats of magic, and trolls battled for sport. Minstrels sang ballads about ancient underground empire of the Flatheads. And here's a picture of our company camping out for the night, telling ghost stories. The elves are silent for a moment, then Fred speaks up. Okay, everyone up on the tree stump. Fred reaches into the sack of magic items and pulls out a small pouch of tiny cakes. Eating these cakes will transport us directly to far side of Flathead Mountains, Fred explains. Oh no, Fred, not those little cakes again. You tried them 9 seasons ago and they didn't work. You tried them 5 seasons ago and they didn't work. What makes you think cakes will work now? Max, you boulder brain. The cakes contain no magic themselves. That's why we had to come here. This tree trunk is a powerful source of magic. Those other items, I just didn't have a powerful source of magic handy. Max sighs and throws up his hands in resignation. Fred hands everyone a cake and begins reciting the spell. Locomotus, mova, budgis, transfio. Okay, eat cakes. Everyone eats the cakes, which are hard and bitter. I summon the power and magic of this stump, Fred chants. Move us to the woods beyond the Flathead Mountains. The world blinks out for a moment. When it reappears, they have moved about 3 or 4 feet toward the Flathead Mountains. The sun is just touching the horizon. Max told you so, says Max. We moved 3 or 4 feet, insists Fred. We should camp here for the night, says Duranda. Not safe outside at night, says Max. Many thieves around, agrees Fred. Anything in the sack for us to sleep on? asks Bivitar. Duranda looks inside. Here's some kind of rug. She takes it out of the bag and unrolls it on the flat stump. The rug is square, about 5 feet on the side. As Duranda unrolls it, a red label falls out. It reads, Froball's Magic Carpet. Hello, aviator. To control your magic carpet, just say fly to fly and land to land. Oh, good, says Max. Now we can cross mountains before dark. I don't know, says Bivitar, looking skeptically at the carpet. It seems kind of small. Plenty of room, says Fred. Elf small, Max points out. Do we use the magic carpet, or do we camp here tonight and continue by foot in the morning? Well, if I've learned anything about these ZORK books, it's do not stay in one place too long and barrel on toward your objective. So let's go ahead and jump on this magic carpet and take us a magic carpet ride. Okay, says Bivitar, giving in. Let's take this flying carpet. Oh boy, says Max. I haven't been on one of these in years. They all clamber onto the carpet, the elves elbowing each other for the best spot. When they are settled, Duranda yells, Fly! The carpet begins to rise slowly from the tree stump. Yup, cries Fred. As his corner of the carpet sags, he grabs at Max and both go tumbling over the side and fall to the grass below. Without the weight of the elves, the magic carpet lurches upward. The 2 elves roll to their feet and run after the ascending carpet. Hey, Biv, wait for Max! Durand, don't leave Fred behind. Bivitar looks down at them and tries to remember the proper command. Halt! He bellows. Nothing happens. Stop! Yells Duranda. Nothing happens. Return! Says Bivitar. Down! The carpet continues to fly. Where's that red label? Screams Duranda. And here's the photo of the elves falling off the carpet back to the ground, and apparently will be taking off without them. By now, the carpet is flying briskly toward the Flathead Mountains. The grove of trees with the mighty tree stump is just a spot in the distance. Oh no, Biv, we've lost Max and Fred. Maybe they'll catch up, suggests Bivitar, without much conviction. Meanwhile,
We better figure out how to stop this thing.
He continues looking for the label. The mountains are almost below them.
What's that in your hand, Biv?
Drand asks him.
What, this? It's just that magic carpet label.
He reddens.
Well,
He glances at the label.
oh, of course, land.
The flying carpet turns and dives toward the ground. Faster and faster it falls. The ground rushes toward them.
We're gonna crash, Joranda yells.
Then, just before they hit the ground, the carpet slows down and lands with a gentle bump. They are close to the base of the Flathead Mountains.
Phew,
Says Bivitar.
some ride. We still haven't crossed the mountains.
Dranda points out.
We'll have to give the carpet another try. Okay, Bivitar agrees. Fly!
The corners of the carpet flap a little and then stop. Nothing else happens.
Maybe we broke it.
Says Bivitar.
It could just be used up or something. Out of magic, the way a car can run out of gas. I guess we should have a look around then. Look, there's a tiny cabin. Hey, I can see smoke from a campfire. It doesn't look too far away.
Should we go to the cabin or the campfire? I vote the cabin. Campfire is probably just the thieves that passed us earlier. Bivitar and Joranda approach the cabin. It lies at the edge of a small stream which winds among the foothills here at the base of the mountains. The cheery glow of a fire can be seen through the window. A narrow trail leads up into the mountains from here. In addition, a large cave opens into the side of the mountain itself. A path leads downward into the cave.
Which way do we go, Biv?
The mountain path
Or the underground route? Dran, it's gonna be dark soon. Let's see if we can spend the night at the cabin there. It'll still be light for an hour. I keep thinking of Salvar hanging over those snakes. I'm exhausted. I think we'd make better time if we slept here, continued when we were fresher.
Should we take the mountain trail, the underground path, or seek shelter at the cabin?
Well, I don't see anything wrong with getting some shut-eye. Let's go to the shelter.
Bivitar and Joranda walk up to the door of the tiny cabin and knock timidly. After a moment, the door swings open, and standing before them is a man with gray, straggly hair. His deep eyes seem to soak the very strength from their bones.
Excuse me,
Bivitar begins.
I know who you are,
bellows the old man.
I have been watching you for a long time. A very long time.
He motions for them to enter. They enter the cabin. It is furnished only with a few stools and some soiled mats in one corner. Over the fire bubbles a pot of thin porridge. The old man directs them toward the stool and gives them each a bowl of porridge. These guys get fed pretty well on their adventures.
I am Vengrelior, an aged sorcerer from a long and ancient line of sorcerers. I was banished from the land of Frobars by Lord Dimwit Flathead, the very same Flathead whose name graces these mountains.
He points dramatically at the mountains outside the window. Bivitar takes a spoonful of porridge. It is bland and full of lumps. He tries to speak.
We're trying to find... I know of your quest.
Vengrelior interrupts.
My powers are not what they were when I was younger, he says. In my heyday, I could resurrect armies of the dead and create entire oceans overnight. However, I can still be of help to you.
how?
Asked Joranda.
By feeding and sheltering you tonight, and perhaps by giving you some of the wisdom of my years.
He stares deep into the heart of the fire and speaks as if in a trance.
Turn not away from the one-eyed beast, he moans, and pass ye through the gates of despair.
Vengrelior falls back exhausted by his prophecy.
One-eyed beast?
Asked Joranda.
Gates of despair? What does that mean? Why do you want to help us?
So many questions, little one. You must not be told too much, for only the meek and innocent may approach Malifestro without detection. Why do I help you? Because Malifestro is my mortal enemy. It is he who caused my exile those many centuries ago, and I will never rest until he is destroyed.
Vengrelior gives a wild laugh and suddenly vanishes.
Biv, where'd he go?
Beats me. Turn not away from the one-eyed beast. What do you suppose that means?
I don't know. And that part about passing through the gates of despair. Any idea what that's about? No. Let's get some sleep. We've still got a long way to go.
Durando awakens first and rouses Bivitar.
Come on, lazy bones.
Bivitar stretches.
That was a good night's sleep. Well, now for the mountains. The underground route looks creepy, but the mountain path looks steep and dangerous.
Well, we're going to take the creepy cave, because the mountain path will lead to a certain death. In fact, this death is kind of funny, so I'm going to go ahead and show you what happens if you take the mountain trail.
You know, Biv,
Says Duranda, as they begin climbing the mountain trail.
I've got a strange hunch that we're doing the wrong thing. That's funny, I've got the same feeling. But this is obviously the right way to go. We have no idea where that underground route goes.
The path gets steeper, and soon they are forced to abandon the equipment and supplies they brought from the castle. The temperatures drop as they climb higher. The path leads along narrow ledges and between towering cliffs. The ascent is hard work, and they stop for frequent rest.
Sure is cold,
says Bivitar.
I know,
Says Duranda, shivering. Around midday, a light snow begins to fall, making the steep path very slippery.
Let's stop for another rest,
Says Duranda, pointing to one of the few flat spots in sight.
Sure,
Bivitar agrees.
I hope we can get over the mountains before tonight. We'll freeze to death if we have to spend the night up here.
The snow begins falling more heavily.
It sure is cold, says Duranda. It sure is cold, says Bivitar.
Says the seven-headed snow monster of Snurf, lumbering up behind them.
Pardon me, says Duranda. I didn't say anything.
The leftmost head of the snow monster of Snurf takes a nibble off Duranda's shoulder, while its third to rightmost head delicately samples Bivitar's ear.
Hi!
Screams Duranda.
Run!
Yells Bivitar. They begin running down the slippery mountain path with the snow monster of Snurf right behind them. Unfortunately, all three of them, Bivitar, Duranda, and the snow monster, slip over the cliff and plunge thousands of feet to their death. So, you die, you get 4 points out of 10, and then, of course, the book is kind of nice and says go back to page 55 and try again. It's not like some of the game books, or most of the game books, where it's like, nope, sorry, start all the way over. Anyways, just thought it'd be fun to show you that. Let's actually take the underground path.
I just remembered something, Duranda,
Says suddenly.
It was my dream.
Right, says Bivitar, remembering also.
Sayovar said to take the underground route. He was trying to tell us the right way to go.
The cave opening is tall and wide. Light pours in, showing that the trail leads downward. However, as they get further from the entrance, the light dims, and ahead it seems darker still. Suddenly, the ground trembles. From a far-off earthquake, with a deafening roar, the roof of the cave behind them crashes down. The cave opening is completely sealed off, leaving Bivitar and Duranda in total darkness, with no possibility of turning back. Sinister gurgling noises can be heard in the darkness around them.
Quick,
Says Bivitar frantically.
we need tome light.
Those are, of course, the Grus, little sharp-toothed gremlins that hate light, but will eat you like a group of piranhas in the darkness. So, back at the castle, did we take the sack of magical items, or did we take the trunk of weapons? Well, we took the sack of magical items. However, what if we had taken the trunk of weapons? And I mostly want to show this to you because this is the Grus, and they're kind of like they're like the mascot of ZORK, of ZORK evil monsters.
Biv, isn't there a lamp in the trunk with weapons?
No. The gurgling noises are now very close. They seem to come from every side.
I'm scared. Me too.
The gurgling noises, it seems, are being made by a pack of hungry Grus. The Gru is the most ferocious creature known to adventurers. It inhabits dark underground passages. Its long, sharp fangs are perfect for tearing into any kind of meat, although its favorite delicacy is adventurers. Its only fear is of light. Grus are always hungry. Bivitar and Duranda thanks to some extraordinary lack of luck, have wandered right into the middle of their entire layer of Grus. Describing the results in further detail would probably prevent thousands of parents from buying this book for their innocent little kitties, like you.
So luckily we took the magical sack and turned to page 67.
Look in the sack, Biv. Hurry.
Vivitar reaches into the sack.
The only thing left is this big jar. What is it?
The gurgling noises are much closer and seem to come in every direction.
It's too dark to read the label. Let me open it.
He opens the jar and rays of sunlight stream outward, lighting the entire cave. All around, hideous creatures with long, slavering fangs howl with fear and dash away in every direction.
And
Says Vivitar, shaking with fear and revulsion.
that was close.
Sunlight continues to stream from the jar, lighting every corner of the underground passage. Despite the brightness, the jar remains cool enough to hold. Vivitar reads the label.
This jar contains 1 day's worth of Frobaw's magic sunlight. Well, let's get going. We only have 1 day of light.
They continue along the passage, which heads downward for a while and then levels off. Some portions of the passage are unfinished, the walls composed of rough, uneven rock. At other points, the passage has a smooth stone floor and tile walls. The walls in these areas look very old, and many tiles are missing. At one point, the passage widens into a round room whose smooth walls are engraved with strange cryptic writings and pictures of giant ogres and ghostly shapes. Several hours after leaving the round room, Vivitar and Joranda come to a point where the passage forks into 4 different tunnels. A young man wearing beautiful silken robes sits at the junction. He holds his head in hands and moans.
What a life!
Sobs the young man.
What a miserable life!
Which way do we go? Bivitar asked.
We could try asking him, suggests Joranda.
He's too depressing. Let's just pick one of the passages at random.
Do we ask the man for directions, or go with the random stuff? Let's go ahead and talk to the man. He sounds like he could probably use some company anyways.
Pardon me,
Says Joranda, approaching the sobbing young man.
What?
He says, lifting his head and noticing them for the first time. He brightens a little.
Would you like to buy some shoes?
Huh? She asks. The young man looks crestfallen.
Of course not. No one does. I don't know why I even bother trying.
He sighs deeply.
I suppose you're wondering who I am and why I'm so depressed.
Well, yes,
Admits Vivitar.
I am Prince Melanchitis, heir apparent to the throne of Caldorn. I was once the richest man in the world, and I was about to wed Princess Despondia, the most beautiful maiden in the kingdom. My father, the king of Caldorn, decided to help prepare me for the throne by putting me in charge of the Caldorn Department of Revenue. I decided to raise the taxes a bit to show Dad that I was tough enough to be king. Unfortunately, I raised them a little too high, 110% to be exact. I never was very good at math,
He adds miserably.
Anyway, people revolted and killed my father and exiled me here to this barren underground world. Hungry and penniless, I decided to make ends meet by peddling magic shoes. I figured that everyone needs a few pair of magic boots or slippers. But ever since this Malifestro episode began, business has been terrible. I haven't even sold a pair of magic shoelaces in months.
The Prince of Caldorn wipes a tear from his cheek.
that's such a sad story, says Joranda. We're trying to find Malifestro and stop him, says Bivitar. When we do, your business may pick up again. Could you tell us which tunnel to take?
It doesn't matter. They all go to the same place.
The prince thinks for a moment.
Let me give you a present for listening to a washed-up prince. Take these magic sneakers. I'll never sell them here anyways. Here's a beautiful orange pair with purple stripes for the young lady and a nice pink pair with green polka dots for the young man.
Thanks.
Thanking the Prince of Caldorn for his gifts, Bivitar and Joranda head down one of the tunnels. And these, of course, are the magical slippers or magical sneakers that in the first book, if you lie and say you have them, you turn to a page which calls you a cheater and gives you negative 1 million billion zillion points. So I thought it was pretty funny that they actually added these magic sneakers into the second book. And here is a photo or a whatever drawing of my awesome pink slippers with polka dots. And the Prince of Caldorn looking miserable as hell. Behind them, they hear the prince sobbing again.
What a life. What a miserable life.
As they head down one of the 4 passages, they notice that the light from the jar is a bit dimmer.
We better hurry.
Comments Bivitar. About 10 minutes after leaving the junction, the 4 passages meet. They come to another junction. The 4 passages join here to form one main passage ahead. On the ground is a glass bottle. Duranda examines it and says,
According to the label, it contains Frobos Magic Wizard Escape Potion. Ideal for escaping any wizard under any conditions. It comes with an ironclad money-back guarantee.
Let's hang on to it, says Bivitar, putting it into the sack.
Sounds as if it might come in handy.
Further along the passage, they come to a heavy wooden door. It is over 20 feet tall. A massive metal door knocker is just within reach. A mail slot has been cut through the door, about a foot high, 4 feet wide. Above the slot is a sign which reads, Walter Smith, Cyclops. A side passage heads off to the left.
I don't like the looks of that sign, Duranda says. That side passage there definitely looks...
Mister? Says Bivitar. Okay, so, do we take the side passage or do we enter the home of the Cyclops? Well, if you remember earlier, the old man gave us advice to not be afraid of the one-eyed creature or whatever. So, maybe we should go talk to Mr. Cyclops. I want to see the Cyclops. Don't you want to see the Cyclops?
Duranda, remember Velngralior's prophecy?
Right. Turn not away from the one-eyed beast. A Cyclops is a one-eyed beast.
Velngralior said so. I guess it's safe.
Bivitar walks up to the huge door and bangs the knocker. The noise echoes through the underground tunnels. The door flies open and a Cyclops stands before them, roaring wildly. He is easily 20 feet tall, with rows of long, sharp teeth. He rubs his eye, which is half closed. He looks a lot like the Cyclops who's just been roused from a deep sleep. The Cyclops nudges them inside. He slams the door closed and bolts it securely.
Yum, yum, breakfast.
The Cyclops begins setting his gigantic dining room table.
Very hungry. What a nice surprise.
I don't like the looks of this, whispers Duranda. Now other exits besides that door, and it looks pretty securely bolted.
Yum, little tender breakfast people.
The Cyclops reaches into a cupboard and pulls out salt and pepper shakers, each about 3 feet tall.
Duran, we better think of something quickly.
I've got an idea, Duran says quietly. He doesn't seem too bright.
She raises her voice.
I think Odysseus should be here soon.
Wink, wink. You guys remember that from the game? I do. The Cyclops freezes and his eye darts around the room.
Oh, right, says Bivitar, catching on. Odysseus ought to be here in about 5 minutes.
The Cyclops shivers and drops a 25-gallon jar of ketchup.
Odysseus? He blinded my father. Him coming here?
I think I hear him now, says Duranda.
Drops of sweat begin pouring off the forehead of the Cyclops.
He's at the door,
shouts Bivitar.
He's coming in.
The Cyclops bellows with fear and runs away from the door. He crashes through the far wall, leaving a Cyclops-sized hole and disappears from view.
Good thinking.
Thanks, Bivitar. I'm glad we read Homer's Odyssey in school. They climb through the Cyclops-sized hole and find themselves in a tunnel leading steeply downward. The tunnel soon become the long flight of wide marble stairs. At the bottom of the stairs is a wide doorway. Inscribed above the portal are the words Temple of ZORK. And in smaller lettering, Joel Flathead, High Priest. Bivitar and Duranda entered the temple. It was a high arched ceiling and rows of stone benches. Cobwebs and dust cover everything.
This place gives me the creeps, says Duranda.
Let's go up to the altar, says Bivitar.
They cross the temple and climb a few steps to the altar, where they find a heavy prayer book, a pair of candles, and a book of matches. The book is titled 22 Favorite Exorcism Prayers of the Great Underground Empire.
Let's take this stuff with us, says Bivitar.
Why, says Duranda.
I don't know, just a hunch.
At the far end of the temple is another passage leading down. They follow it for several minutes and soon come to a small room with iron gates set into one wall. A hot wind blows through the gates, and beyond they can see flames and piles of bodies. The gates bear an inscription. Abandon hope, all ye who enter here. Opposite the gate, a forbidden staircase spirals downward. A foul-smelling draft comes from that stairway. Do we go through the gates, or go down the spiral staircase instead? Well, I don't know about you folks, but I'm not one for going down. So let's go past through the gates.
The second half of Ingrelio's prophecy, says Bivitar. Pass through the gates of despair. Good thing we ran into that old sorcerer. I never would have gone there and there otherwise.
As they try to go through the gates, they are stopped by an unseen force. Invisible spirits laugh and jeer at their attempts to pass. From beyond the gate comes the wailing of 1,000 lost souls.
This is creepy, Biv. How can we get through? We'll have to get rid of the spirits that are blocking our way.
Good thing you brought that book of exorcisms from the temple. Bivitar strikes a match and lights the 2 candles. Their flames flicker wildly, and the hush falls over the jeering wraiths. Bivitar flips open the book and reads one of the incantations. The spirits, acknowledging a power greater than theirs, scream with pain and flee. The room is suddenly silent. Nervously, they enter the land beyond the gates. Walls of fire leap upward from the unseen depths below. Here's some artwork with the spirits and wraiths that were blocking our way. Drenda points to the narrow ledge that winds upward. Safely away from the flames, they follow the ledge, which eventually becomes a small tunnel, sloping upward. The light from the jar is now definitely dimmer. The grade of the tunnel becomes steeper, and its floor is now uneven and strewn with rubble. It becomes harder and harder to continue. Did you get the magic sneakers from the Prince of Caledorn? We did. So let's go to 92.
Let's put on the sneakers that the prince gave us, says Bivitar. It might just make the going easier.
Good idea, agrees Drenda. They put on the sneakers, but before they have taken a step, a giant toad leaps out of the shadows behind them. It looks big enough to swallow both of them whole. The toad gives a deep croak, and its tongue lashes out toward them. It tries to wrap itself around Bivitar's leg, but he shakes himself free. The toad hops closer. Run, Biff, run! They begin running up the passage. Amazingly, each step seems to carry them many yards. Their feet barely seem to be touching the ground. They almost fly up the tunnel. The giant toad leaps after them, croaking angrily. Its powerful hind legs propel it forward in long leaps, and its tongue lashes out towards them. A head of light appears at the end of the tunnel. Bivitar and Joranda soar toward the light with their long strides. Eventually, the giant toad falls behind, furious, croaks, echoing. And here's a picture of said big bad toad. I would run too. The light from the jar sputters and dies. They burst out of the tunnel into sunlight. Behind them are the mountains. Ahead of them is a forest of twisted trees. Rising above the treetops are the spires of an evil-looking castle.
What took so long?
Asked Fred, sitting on the rock next to Max.
Max!
Fred, how did you get here? Dredd asked.
Max used secret spell to summon mountain nymphs, says Max. Fred cast spell, says Fred. You cast spell and giant bat appear instead of mountain nymph, says Max, getting angry. Fred didn't summon bat, yells Fred. Fred saved us from bat's lair on mountaintop. By getting us into snow avalanche? You call that saving, you troll brain? A lot of help you are. You didn't kill a single one of the snow scorpions. Max killed more than you. You did not. Max did. Okay, says Bivitar, trying to calm the elves. We had a pretty exciting time also. We ran into a cyclops and a giant toad and... We also found this bottle of potion for escaping from wizards, Joranda interrupts. So what shall we do now? Bivitar asks. Malifestro's castle is there, within those woods, says Max, his voice quaking. Still not too late to turn back, suggests Fred. That forest does look pretty sinister, agrees Bivitar.
Should we return to the castle of ZORK like a bunch of wimps? We will end the game and only get 6 points. Let's go ahead and continue on the quest to 99.
We're not turning back after we've come this far, says Joranda.
They enter the forest. Snakes slither by underfoot, and dark birds with long beaks hop from branch to branch. They move quickly and soon arrive at a tall stone wall of Malifestro's castle.
What are we going to do now? asks Bivitar. Knock on the door? Knock on the door? Screams the elves. Just a joke, says Bivitar. There are some vines growing up that wall, says Joranda, pointing to one of the towers. We might be able to climb them. Wait, Fred has vision, says Fred. Oh no, not again, says Max. Fred sees towers surrounded by vines, says Fred, with his eyes closed. So what? says Max. So does Max. Fred sees black sphere in tower. Someone imprisoned inside. Who's in prison inside? asks Bivitar. Sayavar? Fred shrugs. Fred cannot say. Vision gone.
And here is a drawing of what I assume is Malifestro's castle. They carefully approach the tower wall. The vines are thick and securely affixed to the stone. The elves start climbing first, with Bivitar and Duranda right behind. The vines become thinner as they get farther from the ground. Just as it seems they won't be able to climb any higher, they reach a small window. The four of them crawl inside and find themselves in a small room lit only by a single window. A pentagram is inscribed upon the floor in the center of the room. Sitting near the window is a black crystal sphere about 2 feet across.
That black sphere, exclaims Duranda. Your vision was correct, Fred.
Max feels life force from within sphere, says Max, examining it.
Malifestro must have Sayovar imprisoned within that sphere, says Bivitar. How can we get him out?
Try putting sphere on pentagram, suggests Fred. Bivitar puts the sphere on the pentagram. With a flash of smoke, a large demon appears.
It's the Demon Lord, Gamehorder. Bah, I am the Demon Lord.
The elves shriek and hide behind Bivitar and Duranda. The demon bares his fangs and speaks in a voice that booms like rolling thunder.
Hello, adventurers! Thank you for freeing me from my captivity! What's that behind you? Elves? I love the taste of tender elf meat!
The elves grab each other, quaking with fear.
And what's that you're carrying, young one? Is that a bottle of Frobaw's magic wizard escape potion? Tell me, why have you come here? Why have you summoned me?
We've come to rescue our Uncle Sayovar from the evil wizard Malifestro, explains Bivitar.
Then you've come too late! Malifestro has already disposed of your uncle, and even now is preparing to invade the kingdom of ZORK.
Sayovar is dead,
says Duranda, stunned.
I'm afraid so, says the demon. But just so your trip won't have been a complete waste of time, let me make you an offer. I'll grant you any wish that is within my power to fulfill. All I ask for in return is that bottle of wizard escape potion.
That sounds reasonable, says Bivitar. Hey, wait, says Max. Potion could be only chance of getting out of here alive.
Do we hang on to the potion? Or do we strike a bargain with the demon? Well, you all know damn well what the Gamehorder's gonna do.
Let's strike a bargain!
Maybe this demon can help us out, says Duranda. Let's give him the escape potion.
No, says Fred.
Give us the escape potion instead, says Max.
Shut up, you two, says Bivitar. He asks the demon, how can we trust you?
I will grant the first request,
answers the demon, gesturing magnanimously.
Okay, says Bivitar, it's a deal. What are we going to ask for, Bivitar? I'm not sure, Duranda. What do you think?
Let's decide what we'll ask the demon. Now, obviously, we have many choices, but only one right choice, and more than likely the rest will lead to our demise. Do we ask the demon to kill Malifestro? Well, killing is usually not the answer. Do we ask the demon to save us from the wizard and return us to safety? Well, he might return us to safety, and then his armies will come and kill us later. Do we want riches and treasure? We all know where that's going. What about bringing Sayovar back to life? Well, seems like a reasonable request. Or we can ask the demon for something not listed above. Well, we are here to save Sayovar, so let's see if we can save Sayovar. And turn to page 118.
Demon, says Duranda, do you think that you could bring Sayovar back to life here?
The demon frowns.
Most difficult request. I am not certain if even a demon first class like myself, with over 700 years of experience, can perform such a feat. However, I have promised, so I shall attempt to do as you ask. Also, if I am successful, then Sayovar will be able to destroy Malifestro, which will repay that wizard for imprisoning me for 300 years.
The demon chants complex spells and draws intricate patterns in the air. Smoke pours from the ground before him. Sparks fly from his fingertips. Finally, the smoke clears and Sayovar is standing before them, looking slightly dazed.
Duranda, Bivitar,
you heard my call. He embraces them affectionately.
And Max and Fred.
He pats the elves on their heads. They jump up and down with excitement.
Sorry to break up this sweet reunion, says the demon, but we did have a bargain.
He coughs slightly. We have a sweet little reunion picture here.
Oh, right,
says Bivitar. He hands the bottle of escape potion to the demon.
Bye, everyone! Don't forget to write!
The demon drinks the potion and disappears. The last thing I can remember is hanging over a snake pit, says Sayovar. Malifestro was there. He trails off. You had the demon bring me back to life? Frobs above, you saved me again.
We're still in Malifestro's castle, explains Duranda. And we gotta hurry, says Bivitar. The demon said that Malifestro's preparing to invade the kingdom.
Sayovar chuckles. Malifestro is a vain and boastful one. Before he killed me, he told me all his plans, how he would enslave the entire kingdom. I learned his strengths and weaknesses. He never dreamed I would live to use that knowledge. I must engage Malifestro in mortal combat. I shall choose Johnny Cage. Sayovar continues. If I meet him in the throne room of his own castle, he will be unable to summon additional help. It'll be just his magic against mine, his wits against mine.
Be careful, warns Max. Right, chimes Fred. Getting killed twice in the same week. Very unhealthy.
Sayovar nods solemnly at them, claps his hands. Bivitar, Duranda, and the elves find themselves on a balcony overlooking the throne room. Sayovar stands below in the center of the room. As they watch, Malifestro appears in a cloud of acrid smoke.
How many times must I kill you, Sayovar?
Asks the evil wizard. It's my turn now, Sayovar answers. He waves his arm and turns himself into a ferocious mountain lion. He lunges at Malifestro, who turns himself into a raging wall of fire. Sayovar leaps back with a roar, and suddenly the lion is gone, replaced by a wave of water rushing toward the fire. The fire vanishes, and in its place comes a howling wind of cold air. It blows over the water, which is pushed back and slowly starts to freeze. The water becomes a sheet of ice, as the wind continues to howl around the throne room.
Oh no, wails Max. Malifestro is freezing him.
It was a picture of the wizards doing battle. Before their eyes, the sheet of ice begins to change shape, flowing outwards. Its edges curl upwards, meeting to form a gigantic translucent sphere around the whirlwind. The sphere shrinks, and a moment later, Sayovar stands below them, holding a crystal sphere just like the one that imprisoned the demon. The elves let loose a wild cheer of delight. Sayovar waves his arm again, and suddenly they are back in their own castle. Sayovar, exhausted from his battle, leaves the elves to look after Bivitar and Duranda, while he retires for the night. By the next morning, word has spread of Malifestro's defeat. Throngs begin gathering on the meadow outside the castle. Sayovar takes Bivitar and Duranda to a balcony overlooking the cheering crowd. Max and Fred come along as well. "Hail, Sayovar!" yells the crowd. "Long live the king!" "Thank you for your fine welcome," Sayovar calls out to them. "But let me introduce the two heroes who risked their lives to save me. Bivitar the brave and Duranda the dauntless." The people cheer wildly.
But we couldn't have done it without Max and Fred, Bivitar yells. The two bravest elves in the world, asks Duranda. The two elves try to look modest, but don't quite succeed. Sayovar embraces the two adventurers and whispers, "Better say farewell to the elves." "Goodbye, Max," says Bivitar, wiping a tear from his cheek. "I'm gonna miss you, Fred," says Duranda, sniffling. "Max doesn't want to leave," says Max. "Fred wants you to stay too," says Fred. "We have to go home," explains Bivitar, "but we'll be back." They begin to feel dizzy, their heads spin, and the world becomes a blur. When their heads stop spinning, they see that they are back in Bill's bedroom. June is wearing her normal clothes, and Bill is back in his pajamas, clutching the ring of ZORK in one hand. He puts the ring back in the top drawer of his bureau. "Bill!" shouts Bill's mother from down the hall. "Are you awake?" "Yeah, Mom," Bill answers. "Breakfast is almost ready," she calls. "Okay," says Bill, smiling broadly. June darts over to Bill's window to climb out. She looks at Bill. "I'm going home. I'll see you later." She lowers her voice. "Let's not stay away so long this time." "Okay," says Bill, smiling broadly. Bill's about to get breakfast, and we got 10 out of 10 points. Congratulations! You would make a fine adventurer. And here's a final scene of June climbing out of the window and Bill about to go get his breakfast. And I am the Gamehorder. Thank you all so much for enjoying Book 2, our ZORK series that we're doing. I had a really good response from the first Gamebook, and enough to keep things going. We'll be doing many, many different kinds of game books. Lone Wolf, Way of the Tiger, Endless Quest, Choose Your Own Adventure, Twist of Plot,
Wizards, Warriors, and you. Fighting fantasy. Just anything. Anything we can get our paws on. Anyways, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. And see you soon.